Hello, so today's going to be another gas mask test video, and this time I'm going to test what I believe is the Chinese M64, or at least the version of it that takes 40mm filters. Now, this mask, as I've said before, is basically sort of a Soviet MM1 copy clone that's a bit different, but there's two variants of this. There's this one with the bulkier exhale valve and voice diaphragm. As you can see, it's quite bulky at the front, and there's a version with like a more slimline version of the voice diaphragm that a couple of other masks use. Now, what you'll notice with this is, I think originally these masks only took a hose attachment, but what they've done is they put a 40mm screw thread inside, and then they've sort of attached it like here, so they've basically retrofitted these older masks to be more modern. So I'm just going to test it with an ABE filter, and what I'm going to do is obviously do the air freshener test, sit in the bathroom, because it's quite a small enclosed space, spray a load of air freshener, and then time it a few minutes and see if the mask works properly. And I'll talk a bit about the mask when I'm doing it. It's a 5-point head harness, as you can see, very simple strap design. You simply tighten the straps by pulling them. You know, nothing scientific about that. And that's what the mask looks like on the inside, if you're interested. Pretty simple. Anyway, let's test it. Okay, so as usual, let's get the mask on first. Do these straps up. This is the only slightly awkward thing, is if the straps aren't sort of tightened. See, I think this one's gone through the joint. If you fully loosen them, they tend to come out. Yep, right. So, let's sort this out first of all. Rethread this strap, which isn't exactly difficult to do, it's just irritating having to do it when you want to actually get on and test the mask. Right, there we go. Let's now pop the mask back on. This is the irritating thing, is now the straps are in a different position again. Right, now I can tighten it, there we go. Tighten the other straps and the top strap. There we go. Seems like it's pressurising. Okay, so I accidentally stopped the camera then, but here we go, let's start it again and let's do the test. So, mask, as you can see, is pressurised. Let's go. And as always, I will shout if I smell an odour. So, I think this is currently one of the cheapest gas masks you can buy on the market. You can buy these directly from China for about £12 in the UK. Free postage, obviously it will take a couple of weeks to come. But if they ship it to the UK, we'll do worldwide shipping free, and it's about £12. That's going to be about $15, $16, something like that. 15 euros. So you can, this is literally GP5 kind of prices, but you can put 40mm filters on it, which is quite good. Like not GOST ones. So it's got a Tissot tube system, which is good, as you can probably see. If I breathe out, it starts fogging up a bit. Breathe in and it clears, excellent. So that works properly. The voice diaphragm is actually surprisingly good on this, but as I said, there's two variants of this. I prefer the one that wasn't as bulky at the front, but that doesn't really matter. Exhale valve is obviously there. So in a lot of ways this is very similar to the Soviet MM1 mask. You can tell that's obviously what they based the design on. It's got the front-looking, forward-looking eyepieces, as you can see. They're not actually turned sideways like that, they're actually facing forwards. Which means this mask should work quite well with binoculars and scopes if you actually wanted a mask to shoot with. As I said, only real complaint with this is the strap system. These straps are functional, but they're a bit irritating in the sense if you fully loosen them, they can come out quite easily. But I still cannot smell any odour of the air freshener. So the mask in Chinese military service that came after this one was the M65. The silly tumour cheek filter mask with the one giant cheek filter on one side. I don't actually have one of those in my collection, but I hear it's meant to be pretty awful. Then after the M65, I think it was the M69 that went into service, which is the one that's kind of like a PMG copy. That's actually a very good mask. The only issue I've had with it is the one I got was in a size small, which means it's a bit uncomfortable for me, but the mask itself actually works very well. And the FMJ05, which came a fair bit later, is actually a very good mask as well. The FMJ08, which is the S10 or FM12 copy, is also meant to be very good. So I actually quite like Chinese gas masks, other than a couple that are obviously quite badly designed, and some of the industrial style ones they've done, which are rip-offs of other masks with very poor quality control. The actual Chinese military ones, other than the M65, seem to be fairly good. As you can see, I've been wearing this for quite a few minutes now. I can't detect any odours, so I assume the mask is still working. It's not too uncomfortable either. Like with all masks, obviously, as you talk, if you're talking where your jaw's moving, and you've got it done up tight, after a while it makes your jaw ache a bit, but there's pretty much no way of avoiding that with a gas mask on your face. If I had to find things to complain about with this mask, it would basically just be the straps. But as said, I wore this, or I didn't say, but if you saw a stream I did in the middle of December, I wore this mask for I think about an hour of being on stream or so, for quite a long time, and I managed to wear it for all that time without becoming too uncomfortable. So for a really cheap mask, it's not that bad, especially because it's got a voice diaphragm on where people can actually understand you quite clearly. So anyway, let me just break the seal on the mask and check if I can smell stuff. Yeah, I can smell lavender very strongly, so yes, this mask definitely works. So there you go, the Chinese M64 mask that is now adapted for easy 40mm use. Actually quite good. Now, let me just try and undo the straps, which is always a bit of a challenge with this mask. You sort of have to stretch it where the straps are. There we go, it's off. As I said, my only real complaint is the straps on this mask, simply because they are of a design where they can pull themselves. If you loosen it too much, they can pull themselves out. That's the sort of major complaint I have with this strap system. You know, it's not brilliant in that regard. It works, but, you know, it isn't brilliant. But overall, yeah, a good mask for what it is. I don't think there's actually a date stamp on this one, or if there is, it's long since worn off. As I said, it would probably have originally been produced in the 60s. And then they've just converted them to 40mm more recently. You see, it's a size 2, which fits me very well. I'm just seeing if there is any indication of size whatsoever on here, but I don't think I can actually see any. There looks like there's a stamp on the inside that's long since worn off there. There, you know, long since gone. So, no indication there. The only other marking is this one, but again, no year stamp or anything obvious on there. Just a bit of a symbol. But yeah, overall I do like this mask. It seems like a bit of moisture builds up in that plastic bit, but at least that's actually building up in there and not around your face, so that's a good moisture trap actually. I don't think it's designed to do that, but it does work well. So, yeah, overall, the Chinese M65 is, or M64, sorry, is a surprisingly good mask when it's adapted to 40mm. Especially for the cheap price they cost. Yes, they look goofy, but they work. If something looks silly in it, you know, would save your life, then by all means, it's not bad at all.